Imagine for a moment you're looking at this just beautifully plated meal. Looks amazing, right? Perfectly arranged. Everything looks delicious.
Mm,
You can probably tell what the ingredients are. You see the veggies, the protein, maybe a sauce.
sure, the main components.
But do you really know how it was made? Like the chef's techniques, the specific order they did things in, why those ingredients? You see the end result, but the whole story of how it got there, the actual cooking instructions,
Yeah,
that's kind of hidden.
that's a great way to put it. Seeing the what, but not the how or the why.
Exactly. So, welcome everyone to the deep dive. Today, we're taking that idea, that metaphor, and we're diving into market data.
Right.
Our mission today is really to go beyond red and green. We're digging into some fascinating material from Vtrender's Members Lounge, actually titled Understanding the Language Markets Actually Speak.
Mm-hmm.
We want to uncover why the usual ways we look at markets might be, well, missing some really key information, and hopefully help you get a richer, sort of more nuanced view on what's actually happening.
Yeah, getting beyond just the surface level.
It's a common challenge, isn't it, for anyone trying to figure out market signals? You know, whether you're just watching investments or following the news, or maybe you're actively trading.
Yeah, right.
We see all these charts, prices, volumes, lots of data like the ingredients we talked about. But the big question is, what's it really telling us about the forces underneath, the actual cooking process that makes those numbers appear?
It's a really profound question, actually. And what's interesting here, I think, is we're not just talking about, adding more data just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
This is about understanding a different kind of information. It's where you might have that aha moment. It helps
Mhm.
bring those static charts to life, see the dynamics, moving from just seeing what happened to understanding the how and the why.
Okay, let's unpack that, starting with what most people know. When you look at a market chart, what do you usually see?
Well, the classic red and green bars, right?
Exactly. Those bars represent the open, high, low, and close prices for a set time OHLC data. It's totally standard. Daily charts, hourly, even down to like 1-minute charts. It's sort of the basic language.
And, we should be clear, OHLC data isn't bad. It's not useless at all.
Oh, absolutely not.
It gives you critical, objective info. Essentially, what OHLC tells you very clearly is that price moved from point A to point B in that time window.
Yeah.
It shows the range, where it ended up. It's a reliable snapshot of the outcome, you could say, the end result.
Yeah.
The ingredients and how the final dish looks.
Right, the final presentation. But here's where Vtrender really throws a wrench in the works. Their material basically says, and I'm quoting here, traditional OHLC data, even at 1-minute intervals, misses the entire story.
That's a bold statement.
It is, especially when so much analysis relies on exactly that data. So if the end result isn't the whole picture, it makes you ask, well, what else is going on inside those bars that we're just not seeing?
That's the core question, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If you only see the outcome, what are you missing? And the source gets specific. It says those OHLC bars, quote, can't tell you how it got there, who pushed it there, or why it moved with such force or hesitation.
Wow.
You see the line move on the chart, but you don't see the actual forces, the conviction, or maybe the lack of conviction that made it move.
That's powerful. And they use that amazing analogy to really make it clear. They say, it's like having a recipe that lists ingredients but skips all the cooking instructions.
Exactly.
Think about that. You've got flour, sugar, eggs, but no clue about the steps, the oven temperature, how to mix it, how long to bake it.
Right. How could you possibly recreate it or even really get what went into it?
You couldn't. It makes this abstract idea of missing market dynamics really concrete, relatable.
It really does.
Yeah.
Without those cooking instructions, the how, the who, the why, you're basically missing the whole dynamic process. You see static points, but not the flow, the struggle, the confidence, or the doubt that pushed the price.
It's like seeing just the finish line photo of a race.
Precisely. Not seeing the race itself, who took the lead, who fell back, who had that final surge. And, to really understand these dynamics, you often need to look at richer data. Things like order flow, volume profile, time and sales. These tools start to break down those OHLC bars.
Ah, okay.
See.
So those are the tools that start showing the cooking instructions.
They begin to reveal that process, yes. They show you the how and sometimes hints of the who and why.
So if most people are just looking at the OHLC ingredients and missing these crucial instructions, what does that mean practically? Like, are they making mistakes or falling into traps because they don't have this deeper view? I remember, early on, I just focus on red or green. Was the candle red or green? That was it.
Oh, definitely. It can lead to misinterpretations. For example, you might see a quick spike up a green candle and think, wow, strong buying. But if you could see the how, maybe it was just one big order that went through and then nothing, no follow through. Or maybe volume was actually drying up on the way up. That tells a very different story than broad, sustained buying pressure.
So it looks strong on the surface, but the process underneath was weak.
Exactly. Or the opposite, a red candle might look bearish, but maybe it represented absorption, where large players were quietly buying everything sellers threw at them. The OHLC bar just shows price went down, but the underlying dynamic could be bullish accumulation.
That difference is huge. It's about the quality of the move, not just the direction or the size.
Precisely. That's the key. OHLC gives you quantity, the price change. But understanding the process gives you the quality, the conviction, the sustainability. Was it hesitant? Was it forceful? Who was involved?
Which brings us back perfectly to that title, Understanding the Language Markets Actually Speak. It really suggests OHLC is just, I don't know, like the nouns in the language.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
You're missing the verbs, how the action happened. The adverbs, how forcefully or tentatively. The context, all the nuance that tells the real story. It's the difference between saying price moved up and saying buyers aggressively overcame sellers with increasing volume.
Exactly that.
Right.
And understanding that force or hesitation or identifying who pushed it, was it broad participation or just a few big players, that gives you much deeper insight into sentiment, into conviction.
Okay, so you can start to read the underlying intent, not just the simple outcome on the chart.
Right. Is this rally built on a solid foundation, or is it likely to fizzle out? Is this decline showing panic selling, or is it orderly profit-taking? That kind of understanding changes how you interpret everything. It's like judging a chef just by tasting the dish, like you said, without seeing the skill, or maybe the chaos in the kitchen.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate for a second. Is this deep dive into the how, who, why always necessary? What about, say, a long-term investor who just checks their portfolio maybe once a month, looks at daily or weekly charts? Do they really need to get into the weeds of every 1-minute candles construction?
That's a really fair question.
Yeah.
And the answer is probably not always. For a very broad long-term view, where you're mostly concerned with the major trend, the outcome shown by OHLC over longer periods daily, weekly, is often sufficient. You're looking at the forest, right? Not inspecting every single leaf.
Okay.
However, even for that long-term investor, understanding the quality of recent price action can be valuable. For instance, seeing how price behaved around a key support or resistance level. Was it a sharp rejection with force, or did it just drift away lackadaisically? That can provide clues about the strength of the trend or potential turning points.
So even if you're not trading minute by minute, knowing the character of the moves can still inform bigger picture decisions, like entry or exit points, or maybe how confident to feel during a pullback.
Exactly. It adds context.
Right.
It helps you gauge conviction during volatility. It helps you avoid overreacting to a sudden spike or drop that might look significant on an OHLC chart, but when you look closer, lacked any real participation or force. It's about having the option to zoom in and understand the nuances when the situation warrants it. For a quick check, OHLC is often fine. But for crucial decisions, understanding the how, who, and why adds a vital layer of clarity. It's not about complication, it's about informed understanding.
That makes a lot of sense. What an illuminating deep dive this has been. We started off thinking about that meal, seeing the final plate but not knowing the recipe.
Right.
And what we've really unpacked today, thanks to these insights from Vtrender, is that while the standard OHLC data shows us where prices ended up,
Yeah, the destination.
it often leaves out the crucial story of how they got there. Who was driving? Was it a smooth ride or a bumpy one? Was there conviction or hesitation? We've learned that markets speak this richer, more complex language than just those simple red and green bars.
Absolutely. It's a much deeper conversation happening beneath the surface.
So hopefully this deep dive has given you a new lens, maybe a different perspective, to view market information, or really any information where you see an outcome, but maybe not the full process behind it. It's about looking beyond just the surface.
Moving towards a more profound understanding of the dynamics at play.
So let's leave you with a thought to chew on this week. If market movements have this hidden how, who, and why beneath the visible data, what other systems or things in your world are you observing where you see the recipe, the outcome, but maybe those cooking instructions, the process, remain hidden, just waiting for you to explore and discover?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Until next time, keep digging deeper.